Hey everybody, today's video comes from a suggestion in the comment section from one of my subscribers, the pros and cons of a producer getting a publishing deal, all right? So you can find out my pros and cons of that happening right here on the Music Money Makeover show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Music Money Makeover show. My name is Casey Graham. Thank you all for coming back. Make sure you all download the profit maximization checklist below and the musician's guide to self-publishing right down below. Now, today's topic is about the pros and cons of a music producer getting a publishing deal. What are those pros and cons, right? If you're a music producer, you're grinding it out, you're working with artists on the independent stage, and maybe working with a few major artists, and you kind of want to take things to another level, a publishing deal may be an option, all right? So it comes from a comment from one of my subscribers here, and I'll read it. This is from producer, I want to say it right, Arian, A-R-I-A-N, right? Okay, so this is what he says. Could you make a video, if you have not already, about how the music producing business works? Obviously, I've done a lot of those, producer Arian, about how the music business works and how to get your royalties. Why you should get a publisher, pros and cons of that, which is what we're going to talk about today. What happens if you sign up for royalties for a song only as a writer without having a publishing company? And more stuff similar to that would be much appreciated. All right, so this one is for you and for those of you out there who are looking for something like this, if you're on the fence about having a publishing deal or doing one. All right, so these are my pros and cons to a music producer getting a publishing deal. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is what I like to call is instant credit, right? That advance that you get is instant credit. The bright side of that instant credit, that artist, that producer advance, that publishing advance, that advance on your royalties, your future earnings, all right? The bright side of that is you get better living conditions, right? You can move out of that apartment where people are knocking on the roof and you're making beats all night long and stuff. You get better equipment, better plugins, and this, that, and the third to make more art. Maybe you can make it faster now. You got, a better computer, so the computer isn't always crashing anymore. All right, so you got more money to do the things that you need to do as a producer to create better art for the people. The con of that is the debt, right? So an average deal will be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. That's the average publishing deal. I'm not talking about a small publishing house that wants to do one song here or one song there, or maybe like a small sync house. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about your full-fledged publishing deal, anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. All right, the con of that is it's the debt. So you got to pay that back. So I want you to remember that. The purpose of getting a publishing deal is to increase your production, all right? And the value of it. But you gotta pay it back. And I like the way Babyface says it, is the way you know a producer is a hit producer, right? And can do it, time and time again, is to do it time and time again. Not just once, not just twice, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row, back to back. Like they got it together, they're just gonna do it, okay? All right, so let's jump into point number 2, all right? So you get an increased network of artists. You get those artists that you really wanna work with. And you get to you get to pick and choose if you already have something buzzing on the radio, and then your publishing company says, hey, let's get this guy in with this person and this person, or this woman in with this person and that person, because I think it'll be a great fit. They have buzz, they're on the verge of having a hit record, or they have their first hit record. Everybody's going to want to work with them. Let's put them in the studio with such and such and such and such. All right, so that's a pro to the publishing deal. The flip side is you got that high level competition. So it goes back to what I said just a second ago. You got to keep it up. You got to keep up your quality level. All right, you got to keep up your hit making level, and you got to understand how that's going to work. If you cannot hang with the big dogs, as they say, stay off the court, stay out of the kitchen, whatever it is you're doing, okay? Understand, you get that publishing deal, you might have your first hit record, you're competing with all of the top dogs, and they're working with the same artists you're trying to work with. So you got to bring the pain, you got to bring the noise with that. that's kind of a pro and con together. All right, the high competition level that you have to deal with. All right, my next pro. All right, you get the relief of all the registration duties, all the administrative stuff, the stuff that you don't like to do because you just want to create, the stuff like in my profit maximization checklist below or my musician's guide to self-publishing below. You don't have to do that stuff. They'll do it. Okay, but in the con of that, the trade-off of that is that in the contract for them performing all those services, you know, just like the money that they advanced you when I talked about it at the top of the video, is that you're in bed with them, all right, on a typical 5-year term, right? But they own the copyright with you. You share in it together for the life of the copyright plus 70 years, all right? The typical United States government copyright term, all right? So that's the trade-off. But I don't want you to think negatively about that. I want you to think positively. That's the con of it. That's the trade-off. But the positive part of it is that you get to elevate yourself. Like I said, your living conditions, your equipment, you get all of this other stuff. But the con of that is that you got to trade that ownership. Some of it, not all of it, all right? Whatever the percentage is in your deal, that's what you're trading off. And you will be in bed with them for 70 years after you die, all right? So you're leaving it to your heirs, right? Your children's children, right? By 70 years. So it'll be your children's children who will kick in and say, all right, give us this back, okay? All right, so my next pro to signing a publishing deal as a producer is you get possible fame with possible endorsements, all right? So I remember back in the day, you can't see it here, but I got like some Scratch magazines hanging on my wall here from when Double XL used to do the producer magazine called Scratch. And, you know, there used to be a lot in Remix magazine, right? That used to be out back in the day. And a lot of producers had endorsement deals with all these companies. It was a cool thing to have. Like you know, and people still have it, but you had Pete Rock was with Akai. You had, I think, Rodney Jerkins was with Korg. You know, and then like you have Hit Boy with Output right now. He's advertising all the Output plugins and 1500 or nothing and all these people, right? They have these endorsements right now. So that's a lot of the pro that you can get with it, the fame and the endorsements, or to be truly positive about it, the notoriety. You get the notoriety and the endorsements start coming. Now the trade-off, the con of that is that you get the possible higher work stress factor here, right? Meaning that all the other stuff that starts to come in for you starts to pull you away from your focus. Your initial focus is to fulfill your minimum delivery requirement. And I'll have a bit on that after we finish this up. All right, so my last point of this video would be the fun stuff, right? The parties, the fun, the groupies. Come on, man. Come on. You get the groupies, the ladies, all this stuff, right? Or the women, you get a lot of male groupies. I don't think that's really healthy. I don't know if you would like all of that because that's a lot of male testosterone energy. But anyway, I mean, you get that. You get that. I mean, ladies with ladies, whatever. You know what I'm saying? All the fun kicking it, fun stuff you think about, right? Trade-off of it is, you know, the con of that is that you start to lose focus on what I just said a hot second ago about your minimum delivery requirement, right? So, you know, what is all this stuff that will take us away from our focus, our minimum delivery requirement?
Message!
Well, what is that? The minimum delivery requirement is what you have to turn in per year in your deal, or per whatever the time frame they set that you have to turn in, you know, each segment of the deal to them, right? And usually it'll be on average on a bare minimum of 6 songs, right? And of those 6 songs, it'll be, you know, a full song is 100%, but you're a producer, right? So it technically doesn't mean 6 songs. What it means is 12. And how does that work? Well, if you have to deliver 6 songs, you have to deliver 100%. So if it was just you and you rapped, then you own 100% of that song. You wrote the raps or you sung on it. Let's say you produced it and you sung, you own 100% of that song. All right. But a lot of times, and almost 90% of the time, it is not like that. You will produce the record if you get to do it all by yourself. If the management doesn't request a piece, or the songwriter doesn't request more than what they did, all this stuff, right? If you don't have to go through any of that, then you will walk away with 50%, and then the other writers will walk away with the other half. All right, but that leaves you with one half of one song, 50%. Remember, in order to fulfill one song for the minimum delivery requirement, you need 100%. So that means that you have to do double what it is in your contract, all right? Just a little bit of game, a little bit of tidbit on how that works. Now, you all can download the Profit Maximization Checklist down below and the Musician's Guide to Self-Publishing down below. That is for everybody. I had somebody hit me today and said, hey, is this publishing guide for producers? Yes, this publishing guide puts you in the ownership seat, the front seat of that, the race car of that. That's why I wrote it. I wrote it as simple as it could be so that everybody could understand it, right? I didn't go into all the legal jargon and things like that. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of that so I don't get too deep in it so that I confuse people, all right? But I wrote it simple so you can go download it below. Pick up a copy, all right? Now, a quick announcement. Everything now is on musicmoneymakeover.com, okay? You can contact me there. I see everything that's going on there, all right? It's a lot of you all that are chiming in, that are hitting me, and you have questions and comments. You can contact me on musicmoneymakeover.com, all right? You can buy all the books. You might have noticed that the links changed. You can buy all the stuff on musicmoneymakeover.com. You can book a call now on musicmoneymakeover.com. I had someone do that yesterday, all right? Everything comes to my phone, and all the stuff isn't scattered anymore. Musicmoneymakeover.com, that's where everything is. That's where everything is living right now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. If you have any more videos that you might want me to do or that you didn't find on my page, let me know. I'll pick one of these, like a giant hat. I'll pick a topic out the hat and we'll talk about it. Okay? Anyway, I will see you all next week. Peace.